Okay, well, we're ready to, I'm going to put the microphone close to you.
We're on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we will call the Logansport Parks and Recreation Board regular meeting for Wednesday, October the 8th, 2025 in session. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All visitors, please sign in with your names and addresses at the podium. Eamon, you want to read the mission statement?
Yes, sir. Logansport Parks and Recreation Department is committed to building a vibrant and healthy community for future generations through accessible recreational facilities and programs that promote physical health, social engagement, conservation, and cultural appreciation.
Thank you. You all received a copy of the minutes from our September the 10th regular meeting. Is there any additions or subtractions that need to be made? Jason?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, then we'll move on. We have no old business, so we'll move on to new business. Park Board Resolution 2025-10, revising formal uniform policy for park staff. Jan?
Before we do that, can we amend the agenda to include a new resolution 25-12? Is that for a grant application?
Is that in here?
I mean, it's a 25-12 is your letter of agreement or support to apply for this grant. So could we amend the agenda to include that, please?
Make a motion to amend the agenda to add resolution 2025-12 to our agenda to follow after 2025-11.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So be.
Thank you. Okay, so the first one is about revising our formal uniform policy to, and the primary reason is to accommodate, we want to work with a vendor, Cintas, to provide our staff pants, uniform jeans that they get five to wear for a week, and then the vendor picks them up and washes them, and in the meantime, they get another additional 6. Somewhere in there's 6, so they always have an extra pair, and it's a laundry service as well, and the total cost of it for a whole year for 8 pairs of Carhartt jeans and is $1,200, which is just about as much as it costs us to buy 4 or 5 pairs of jeans through any other service.
Is it 8 or 11 pairs of jeans?
It's 11 pairs.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the first 5 or 6 rotates into, over the
if
course of 2 weeks.
If
So,
Cintas still does it the same way that they did when I was at Small Parts, you get all 11 at once. And then you just, when you get
okay.
laundry day, you turn all yours
All the
in, you
ones
still
that are
have
dirty.
6, and then, the following week, they bring them back, and
Okay,
you just
okay.
rotate them in and out, so.
okay, that sounds
Do you
good.
guys have a locker room there? Did you change at home and you didn't?
Yeah, you can take them home and.
No, I'd say, sometimes I've heard of places that have problems with, if you don't have a locker room, they forget to bring them in. So then they don't have them when the guy picks up the stuff and
That
then.
was always a problem for some people at Small Parts, they would forget to bring them back on laundry day, and then they're out of luck until the following week.
Places that have best luck, they've got a locker room, they come in and they take them off, they throw them in the hamper or whatever, when then Cintas picks it up, but We don't have that. That'll be in that new building out there
We'll
on
have to work on that
the
one.
street.
So, anyway, the other thing is that instead of, we added 5 logo shirts to a brand-new person because you can't believe how dirty these guys get. And so and we would actually provide those through our uniform budget. So we are increasing that from 5 to 10 logo T-shirts. So, and then annually, they would get 5 new logo T-shirts, and they would replace the 11 pairs of Carhartts each year, provided by the vendor. We also increased the 4 logo shirts for seasonal from 3 to 4, because most of our part-timers usually work 4 days a week. And then office personnel, when you first get started, will get 5 logo shirts. And we didn't identify specifically whether they were polo shirts or T-shirts, but for office personnel, a collared shirt is usually a better option, so.
Get like a little Texas tie for the office people too.
There we
like
go. Good idea. And it has
Yeah, the bolo
logo
ties.
sport
I think that would
on
look
one
good
side
for the
and parks on the other.
polo.
How about a scarf? You know,
Maybe even a hat, a cowboy hat.
Hat, yeah.
An ascot.
okay.
Okay. Anything else to add to that?
We did add a T-shirt to the cashier at the pool as well, because they usually work 4 days a week as well.
Okay. Any questions? Jason, you have any questions?
He might be on mute. He's coming. He's got parent-teacher thing right now, so
Oh, that's
he might be with a parent right now, so.
We don't have any questions. Do I have a motion to accept Parks Board Resolution 2025-10, a resolution of the Logansport Park and Recreation Board revising formal uniform policy for park staff?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Parks Board Resolution 2025-10 has passed. Next up, Parks Board Resolution 2025-11, amending program activity fees and facility rental fees.
I guess I should have probably highlighted these in your notes for you. I can do that eventually here, but for council when they get it, but, okay, so here's the changes. No changes in the, everything down to the pool rental. Those are all the same fees that they have been this year. The only thing I did change was it said child ages 5 to 16, and I changed that to 5 to 17, and then the next one is adult ages 18 and older, which is not a big change because there's hardly any of those teenagers are there, so. But, so anyway, pool rentals, we're increasing by,
$25.
by $25. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. The current one is $75, and now we're moving it up to $100. And 65, or it's $10 for nonprofits. So, so it's $100 and $75. We're not changing the additional amounts at all. Does that make sense? And honestly, I don't know if it'll help. It won't affect the number of rentals because we are absolutely full every weekend. That any time that there's time for a rental, it was filled this last summer. So it's important to keep that going, so, anyway. I don't think it'll affect the number of people that rent it, so. Then if you move on to, the changes in, Mother-Son Nerf War, nothing else has changed except Mother-Son Nerf War. We went to $22 a couple, and Breakfast with Santa was from $5 to $6 per child, $8 per adult. Those are both still the same. We did not add a bunch of programs. At this point, we did what we'd like to do, and if you look at Section 7, it says that the Logansport Parks Board is able to approve, a program fee for a new program. If we include whatever instructor fee, the cost of supplies, use of the facility, and the cost of the program in that fee. And then the idea is that you approve it initially when we get the program going, and then if it's successful that year, then we can include it in whatever next time we adjust fees. So that's the idea of that. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, and then there are no other changes in that resolution, except then if you go to the last Exhibit A with all the reservation, the rental fees. The previous fee is in parentheses on all of these, so you'll see the pavilions that have electricity are now going from $90 to $100 for a full day, or per hour from 22 to 25. And all of those facilities have electricity available to them. The only one that does not have electricity are those pavilions in the upper part of the Spencer Park and the gazebo. And so we left those alone. Okay? There's the pool rentals. And the Penman Service Center, we're asking for additional $10, so it'll go from $40 to $50, or for nonprofits from $30 to $40. And then at McHale Complex for a full day, it's from $500 to $525. We added $25 to each of those. And then for 4 hours, it's going from $210 to $225, $175 to $190 for nonprofits. And we kept that 4-hour period on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., that price range right there, so. Then moving on to basketball courts and pickleball courts, we left those all at the same fee. $100 for a full day, or $20 for an hourly rate.
How do we handle that if somebody wants to rent an hour at the pickleball court? You just have something posted
Well,
at a certain time?
Yeah.
How does that work?
We've been talking about a QR code of some sort where they can get to a, where they can pay for it.
Oh.
We haven't got it worked
You can then
out.
throw somebody off of the court if you're,
Yeah, I am. I'm good. But
well, I didn't know if, like, sometimes you see places, they got like a clear thing, they put a thing that
Yeah.
says reserved from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock for Susie Walmsley or something like that. But I didn't know if I didn't know how that would, I just physically didn't sure how that would,
we got some
how you'd
work to
monitor
do.
that and
We got some
figure out.
work to do on that, no
Okay.
doubt about it. But we do, we do have people reserve courts, for the basketball courts, for full days of programming or whatever.
I can see full day would be easier to manage than,
I do
I want
too.
1 o'clock or whatever. I kind of like I'm kind of envisioning, though, like someone's out there playing, you go, sorry, I've got this now.
Go down at the
Yeah,
pickleball
exactly.
court.
Yeah. Well, they're all rational people.
Okay, and now that we have actual soccer goals at Houston and at Bishop Park and Fairview Park, somebody could actually reserve that whole field with soccer goals, with a soccer goal. So each set of soccer goals will be $100 for the day.
Speaking of the soccer goals, I drive down Jefferson Street and then up 18th Street in the afternoon with my high school route. I noticed that the goal on the north end of Bishop Park looks like it has a pretty good sized hole in it towards the top.
The net? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that's just wear and tear or if somebody has
Cut it.
cut it. I don't know, but there's a hole in that net. It's kind of up, but I noticed that when I drove by there the other day on my bus, that there was a hole in that net on the north end of Bishop Park.
Okay.
So,
I will.
just an FYI.
Okay, I will, double check on that. So. And then Little Turtle Waterway, we set that up so it rents for 4-hour blocks, just like the McHale Complex at the rate of $225 and $200 or $210 from $210. Actually, we don't have that many people renting Little Turtle these days, so we did not change any fees for alcohol or whole-day park rentals.
Splash pad down there, and then to get the alcohol option also.
I
And
didn't do that.
you want the splash pad with the alcohol option or the? Sorry, that was just a joke, everybody. Sure. Everybody out there in on the internet. The splash pad.
Okay, all right. Any questions? Are you okay with those rates, or? And we are, as Mr. Stackhouse said last month, that we are facing increase in stormwater fees and electrical fees this coming year, so we don't get it for free. Okay? We do not get any of this for free, so we have to pay for our facilities just like everybody else, so, anyway, okay. All right, that's it.
Any questions? Jason, are you with us? Nope. Okay. If there are no other questions, do I have a motion to accept Parks Board Resolution 2025-11, a resolution of the Logansport Parks and Recreation Board amending program activity fees and facility rental fees?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Parks Board Resolution 2025-11 has passed. Parks Board Resolution 2025-12. Jan?
So, Jacqueline, if you want to talk with me on this, Jacqueline came up with, or found this grant application it's supposed to address our senior community with a new level of activity, or to help increase that activity. And it doesn't pay a great deal of money, but it sounds like it'll cover some of the expenses of training somebody, and so that they know how to do this. And you want to tell them what your idea is about how to utilize this?
Yeah, so this grant is going towards it's such a long name, I apologize. It is so long, and I lost it.
Tai Chi for
It's the
parks.
SHARP grant, and in there's a few different options that we can choose from as programming for seniors. And I kind of went with Tai Chi. There isn't any in our county or neighboring counties, so it's something that is needed for the community. But it's also one of the best ones for actually practicing during the time, like the duration of the program. The rest of them were conversations about how to exercise, and then they would go off and do the exercise themselves. So this will be all done during the duration of the,
This will actually help people
Yeah.
to do this.
it'll be like an instructional moment. So we're wanting to do the grant, and if that works out for us and we do get the grant, the plan is to go to different locations and then have one program at McHale so that everybody can kind of do it with us, and then we will do outreach as well. This one goes for the instruction, which is kind of pricey, a lot more pricey than I was expecting. It's for 2 different certifications of the instructional side, and then they give us some marketing as well. Yeah.
And that person gets certified and.
Yep.
And, does it say somebody gets a master trainer? Or they can go for a master trainer?
You get master trainer certification as
Okay,
well.
Okay. So anyway, we've got easily a half a dozen senior assisted living facilities in Logansport. And, part of the idea is that this trainer would go out and have that class at that facility with those folks there. And then if they wanted to come and join us at McHale by bus or whatever, then they would get 2 sessions a month for participate. I mean, they would be able to participate in two different sessions every month. So it's just something new. And the other thing we've been thinking about too is if we are able to do this, I think it's a legitimate Silver Sneakers program. Silver Sneakers is it a CDC program? It might be. That they provide programming for, or they pay you for providing that program to seniors. Those of us with silver hair.
I will say that Tai Chi apparently is really hot right now because, how on your phone you get certain things. They somehow profiled me as being somewhat overweight. And I don't know where they got that notion. Somehow it must have. Anyway, I get these things all now. The newest thing is Tai Chi you can lose, 30 pounds in 3 months or something like that. So, there's a bunch of these Tai Chi programs out there. So I assume, 10 pounds off. Okay. So I might have to check into this too. I'm getting,
So I'll see you there then, right?
I might want to sign up for this. You have to guarantee me the weight loss, though.
I don't know if I can guarantee it.
I want to eat
She
everything
has to say about me.
and lose 30
I do too, honestly.
Yeah, I gotta eat, so. Anyway, my kind of real point was, this seems to be something, Tai Chi seems to be something that's really hot out there now to offer, and if nobody in the community is doing it, I think it's a great thing to have.
It was definitely one of the more trendy options. The rest of them were walking, which we had tried walking groups before. And then there was just kind of a conversation, which is great and needed, but we don't have any like exercising or activities for seniors, and to talk didn't seem like it would help that at all either. So yeah.
Other questions?
Is it just for seniors? What if younger people show any interest?
So this grant is for, I think 55 and older. But as always, if it goes off and, we have a wait list or people interested in this, absolutely, we'd move it on to, whoever would be interested, if we had the capacity to make it happen.
Anybody else? Jason? Okay. Being a parent still. All right,
Good thing you called it.
so I need a motion for Parks Board Resolution 2025-12, a resolution for the Logansport Parks and Recreation Board to apply for a SHARP 5.0 grant from NRPA.
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Parks Board Resolution 25-12 is passed. Since Jennifer has got to go.
Yeah.
Do we want Jacqueline to go so she can talk about what she wants to talk about with Jennifer still here?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, yeah.
All
That's
right,
up to you.
you're up
Yeah.
first, Jacqueline.
All right. Hi again. Long time no see, everybody. Hey. So it's weird starting this all off, but hi. So have been planning Howl at the Moon. It's going wonderful. That's been great. It's really exceeding our expectations. But more than that, I'll talk about the proposed sports manager position. So with me coming in and doing a lot more programming and a lot more events on a bigger scale, we're looking at possibly getting a sports manager to help with the sports. I've only been here for 2 months, and most of my days have been people of the community either out in the world asking me for sports and a sport that they wanted to be in, or physically coming to the office and saying that there was a sport or they wanted to manage a sport or something along those lines. And so I have proposed that we would get a sports manager to help with growing the participation of sports, to help me with the administration parts of it, creating leagues, and helping with the marketing and so on. All of our 5-year plan information came back with that the adult and seniors and youth needed more sports programming. So this fits in line with what we're meant to be doing with our 5-year plan. That was first on the list for most of the graphs and most of the conversations. And then the second was our community events. But unfortunately, I am one human and I can't do both all the time, creating both of those at the magnitude of which Logansport is kind of needing at this point. The community is really coming in a big way, saying that they want them. And I think that we should make that happen for them the best that we can. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we've got planned is that we were invited to participate in one of the Logansport High School athletic department, their head coaches meeting, because we felt like it was a good place to talk with them about where we can supplement or complement what the schools are providing, what the Y is providing, and maybe here's the whole. This is what we're able to do for kids in sports, and so that's the first thing we're doing that here at the end of October in meeting with the head coaches of Logansport High School as a starting point in. But I know you guys all remember all our master plan results, and one of them was certainly that 70% of our kids are staying home playing on their devices instead of getting outside and playing in the parks or doing something in the parks. And I think that's one of the goals that we need to work at reducing. One of those things that we should try to reduce. So that's what we're hoping to do with this. Now, the plan is introduce this to you guys, think about it, talk about it amongst ourselves if you want, or between each other or whatever, and then come back at the next meeting and with an actual resolution and a complete job description of this, so that we can get it going here in the new year. The idea is it's a part-time job right now. It's a year-round part-time thing, and the wages would be not great particularly. Maybe $12 to $15 an hour, depending on the person's skills or willingness to work cheap. So, but it's, obviously, it needs to be somebody that will have to be enthusiastic about our goals and wanting to work with them. So, anyway, if you'd like to have, a committee to talk about this some more, because what I'd like to see happen eventually is that it becomes a full-time job in our system. And I think that was, we started that conversation a little bit last year with the council about adding a recreation position, but we didn't identify it, and I think that was part of the problem with it. I don't know if you agree with that we had to have more goals towards it, so.
In 2026, you don't have the money to do this anymore. I don't know where else.
In our part-time budget, you gave
Your
us,
part-time budget right now, so in 2026, you would pay all of your part-time people for the pool, all of your part-time people for the park.
no, the part-time pool people are out of a different budget.
No, I'm just asking you if you have this money in your budget, because the budget's gonna get passed like in 10 days. And so, if you have the money to do this, that's fine. But if you don't have the money to do this, it's not gonna get approved in 2026. We just don't have the money to do it. It's not gonna happen, unless you already have it budgeted right now, and the meeting is tomorrow night for,
Well, I'll find out tomorrow night whether you guys are gonna give us what we requested or not.
yeah, right, exactly, that's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I'm saying, if you already have this in the budget numbers that we've already looked at, and we're ready to pass, then, okay. But if you don't have this in the budget, right now, because we already read it on the first reading, so now we can't go up, we can only go down.
I knew that, I know that.
I am no expert on this, but I have been told there were some meetings today with Baker Tilly, they do accounting and that kind of stuff, and that their projections, I mean, I think it gets worse like in 2027, 28, but that it's going to be tight for the schools, for the city, and pretty much level for the county maybe, but there's going to be some, and hopefully, before that hits, they might, the legislators might realize that there's some mistakes in this stuff, but it seems to be, from what I heard, not punishments, but harder standards for smaller cities like ourselves. And so, you're talking property tax dollars, and they're talking about wheel taxes, and I mean, they're looking for ways ways there's like, doesn't feel like desperation, but a lot of ways to try, how do we raise a little bit more money for the city, for things that we want to have. So, I mean, we need to, I think this thing throughout and how we would do that, and to say,
Well, but some of these programs can bring in money too, and not just program, but maybe concessions. And so I don't know that it will pay for itself right at this point. I haven't studied that at this point, and that's part of the reason we want to do a part-time gig at this point, to see if this will make some money or find some ways that it will produce some income to cover the cost of this position.
And I think that's great, and but you need to make that financial piece a part of this proposal, because, I mean, I've for years, I've been saying we can't depend on the city for us to grow, and so like when we have, say, like the men's league run that concession stand at Riverside Park, and they're only doing it during their ball games, we should have it open every Saturday if people are there and if people are doing.
And I agree.
Yeah, but if we have the manager, we can try to make that happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It triggered my mind when we started talking about uniforms. In my younger days, there was a guy who used to walk around Riverside Park that had some kind of a patch shirt, and he was kind of there to kind of, hey, quit doing that, kids, or whatever. But it got me thinking that, might have been a volunteer, it's an older fellow, but that same kind of stuff where when we're talking about how do you reserve a pickleball court, somebody needs to have a schedule, says, okay, today, they come in the office today, I'm a volunteer, I mean, and maybe they're part-time, but then it could come through and say, oh, yeah, you know, I mean, because sometimes you get something where, hey, these people are on my court, you know, I mean, or whatever it is, that they could be, we might be able to look into some of these. I mean, you look at like, I look at the hospital, and they've got like 6 or 7 volunteers that sit there and tell you different stuff, and I mean, couldn't they spare one for us? You know, but I mean, so the same thing, could we have somebody that, you know, walked around the parks and picked up trash and whatever, and then did this? I mean, I think if we're gonna get challenged financially, but again, I think it's also good to start thinking about, you know, what we charge for stuff, and, you know, I mean,
Well, and, you know, I met last week with Jan and Jacqueline on this, and first off, you know, when we hired Kara, I kind of said, I think this is a lot for one person to do when you want to implement sports and all. We never got to that point of doing this like we are, like we could be right now. There are, I mean, you know, I have been kicking around with some baseball people in town about going back and creating a minor league baseball during the day like we had to back in the day. To where, you know, the fee would be for the kids for a shirt and any, I guess, trying to think of what the right word would be, but expense fees. It wouldn't have to be a lot, but expense fees to cover costs. And in talking to some of the high school guys, I think that a program like this in baseball, we can get high school kids who will volunteer to help out during the summer, during the day. So it have to be in the morning, because a lot of these kids will be out Thursday through Sunday, starting anytime in the afternoon, playing travel ball tournaments for a whole weekend. So I also think that we could probably, if we wanted to do some kind of soccer thing too, we could probably, I mean, I think that's the important thing about Jan and Jacqueline meeting with Brian and the high school coaches, is to say, look, we want to do these things for the kids in our community, for the adults in our community, but we're going to need some volunteer help to do it. How can you help us? I think there are kids in our system, athletically, that would do that. We just got to get pointed in the right direction to do that. I truly think somehow, I mean, yeah, I agree, things are going to get tighter, we all know that. So somehow we have to be creative to come up with the money for this, because it's going to be, if we go and attack the 5-year master plan, it takes more than one person to do that. It doesn't take a full-time second person, but it's going to take a second person part-time to help out and get that done. So I agree, the money's not there citywide, it's not there, and I completely understand that. So then we've got to get creative on how we come up with that money to, you know, assure that. I mean, you know, I had said something to Jacqueline before the meeting started tonight about, you know, we've got these 2 very nice pickleball courts. Let's take a weekend and have a pickleball tournament, Logansport Parks Department pickleball tournament. You know, there's a fee to play. You know, you can get, you know, make it to where there's an expense fee that goes to the Parks Department and a fee for shirts if they play in the tournament, and you can get that all worked into that. So we have to do things to be creative to help Jan and her staff come up with the money to get a part-time sports management person in place to help Jan, Jacqueline, the whole staff out. And it's not just, I mean, Jacqueline talked about a few minutes ago, it's not just our youth, it's also doing stuff in our parks for our senior citizens as well, and our other citizens as well. You know, the goal is to start doing things in our parks to get more people into our parks, all ages. And it's going to take some creative thinking from Jan and her staff and from the Parks Board to get that done. I think the first step is to, see what is in the budget. If it's not there, then we need to draw up a master,
I realize
another
that,
plan.
yeah. Yep.
But I think it's a plan that we need to do to get help and to help create this stuff in our parks. I mean, you know, it's like I told Jan and Jacqueline last week, we put all this, the money that we got to do all the work at Spencer Park. We got nice new playground equipment. People walk up there all the time, but we don't have anything else going on in that park. And we revisited, in our discussion last week, we talked about the AMVETS and their willingness to donate us some disc golf nets. You know, so you can do stuff like that and have a disc golf tournament to raise money for that. You know, we have at Riverside and at Mulehausen Park, we have cornhole boards, right?
Yeah.
So we have two parks where we have cornhole boards. Now, I mean, you hear cornhole tournaments all the time. I mean, you know, now
I
granted.
guess they're really, somebody said, oh, you were the one who said California's
Yeah, I mean, when
not
I,
going all the time.
when I went to California 3 times for small parts, I'd wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and turn the news on, they're talking about a big cornhole tournament that day. And I'm like, huh? But you see, I mean, you see it around here all the time. Unfortunately, where you see it at is bars, but you still see it here all the time.
Well,
You know, so,
sponsors, huh?
yeah, so, yeah, maybe a spot, I don't know,
Maybe.
you know, I mean, hey. But I think it's, you know, first we got to see where we're at tomorrow night with that. And then if that money's not there, and again, I completely understand that because things are getting tight, then we need to get creative because we really need to create this position to help them out. That's my 2 cents.
Hey, have you met Bill Cuppy? Mm-hmm. They've got some kind of summer internship program. I don't know. I know they talked about something with Habitat for Humanity, having some kids there. So, and I don't know what designates what, but they get a little bit of money to do something this summer. So that may be something here. And I said, you know, I mean, back in the day, I mean, when I played minor league baseball, you had like Mr. Spall, Mr. Whitey, and those were teachers in the summer. I don't think we'll get that level again. But when my kids were doing it, we had like Josh Reeser and some other kids that were high school kids that were actually doing it. And I say, if you toss them a little money, you know, and say that volunteer, I don't know where the money comes from. Cuppy gets it from someplace, but I've heard it mentioned at different times.
And I know with all-star jerseys for baseball or even baseball jerseys for the kids, that if you put creative promotions on the sleeve, Mike McMahon's going to discount the amount of the shirts. And so there's creative ways to do it. We just got to figure out what that is to get the help that they need to.
I think a lot of
get this
it,
done.
I mean, I think that you've got enough personality to go around to businesses. I mean, again, part of it is, you know, those T-shirts have your name on the back. I've never said that, oh, gosh, I'd like to do this money because there's names in the back. What really happens is you tell me about the program, and I go, oh, that'd be good for kids. And you sponsor it, not for the name on the back of the T-shirt, but really because you think it's good for Logansport. And I think you know, sometimes when you don't have the money available, it makes you creative and you can do all kinds of stuff, and I think we can do that. I think one of the things we also have to figure out is, you mentioned, oh, these kids, they're all sitting home playing games, we're going to come do this instead. I need to know what that bridge is to get them from sitting at home to saying, you know, you want your kids. Now, I think in some cases, I think there's a lot of parents that have need for childcare in the summer, and sometimes that way you could drop your kids off for minor league baseball or whatever it was. So I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a great goal, and I wouldn't let whatever happens to the city stop us from doing what we need to do. but we just need to be a little more creative and find,
We need to get this done and be creative and figure out how to do it.
And again, we also, talking to Brian Strong is a good start too. We should probably also talk to,
Justin Harold, he's the middle school athletic.
maybe, I'm trying to think, you've got some cases where you've got summer school stuff. Now, again, last year they cut a bunch of stuff because there wasn't money there, legislature-wise. So, they have the same kind of problems we're facing. But, you've got, in some cases, there's a program where they're trying to provide breakfast and lunch for kids. And it's possible, if we can acquire a bus or two, that when they're done, kids could be moved to wherever to do some sports stuff, and then parents pick them up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever. So I think it's great, and I think we just need to start, how do we detail this? What part does money play?
This is where we start, though.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point.
Once
We gotta start somewhere.
once it's an okay, like it's a thought that we move towards, I have no problems like making the creative and the conversations with the partners happen. Off and on, even just for rec stuff in general, talk to like the Boys and Girls Club already, about going to them and doing some games and some activities. The academy, going there every few Thursdays and so on. And I haven't reached out to the other schools just yet, but would and will in the future. But I don't want to take away from other events and big things that we've got going on for the year. And so I don't want to overcommit, because I do have some really great ideas, and I want to make those ideas happen for the community, but I don't want to stretch too thin either. Then nobody gets, anything of value. And I think that definitely the programming of sports is a really big value that we need.
You mentioned Boys and Girls Clubs. I don't know the exact relationship, but I know the last 2 years, they worked with the schools in the summers.
Yep.
And I don't think it costs the school any money.
Nope.
So it's being funded by the Boys Club or Girls Club, whatever. So again, we need to start penciling what we need, what role money plays, and then also I think we need to figure out who to contact, have Jacqueline, I don't know, I can't remember who was dealing with, at the school, who was dealing with Boys and Girls Club. I can't remember who that was.
Dan Fry.
Oh, really?
Not the same not the coach.
No,
Same.
no, but, no.
Fry, though.
But yeah. No,
That's the same thing I say when they mention that line.
Oh, really?
no, it's not the same one. But I've actually, I went to, they had what did they call it? It was like an activities day meeting where they invited a bunch of community members to kind of see what was going on with Boys and Girls Club in the different schools. And I went to that and got some really good like one-on-one conversations about what they were needing and how we can kind of help out. And with us being right there in the park in Fairview, kind of seemed like a no-brainer for them too, so. But yeah, I'm making those connections, just,
That's, I think
slowly.
connections is the next part. And sometimes it's just, you run into, we might have a meeting with the principals and Mrs. Starkey or something like that. A lot of times, things that you think there's no place at all, they think of a grant they can get, or they think of a connection they can get to fund something that.
For sure.
I think it's a great concept, and and I've got, I remember when I was a kid that you had minor league baseball, those guys doing that. You had arts and crafts in the park. You had tennis.
You used to have
and-
tennis down at Riverside Park.
Yeah,
right?
Riverside Park, yeah. So I think there's some things there, and again, like those kind of things. I think back in those days, I remember when we did tennis, we'd take a school bus to Lafayette, to Columbia Park, and then they let you swim in their pool or whatever. But it was kind of but they had to have some kind of school connection to get that school bus.
Yeah,
So,
because, they did that last year. Twice last year I took kids to Columbia Park.
okay,
Oh, that's cool.
Not
Yeah.
this past summer, the summer before. Now,
So-
last year I took them to France Park one day, and they were elementary kids, but I picked them up at the Y, so there was some connection with the school and the Y, and I don't know what that connection was, but,
The summer program for the YMCA.
yeah.
The school takes them where they need to go.
I don't, so, I took them to Tower Park twice, and I took them to France Park. And then I took them to Myers Spring one morning, and I'm like, these are all elementary kids. I'm like, okay,
They put them to work, put 'em to work.
here we go.
Okay, you put these in this bag. Well, and I say, I think, and what the school knows they know, it's documented, it's tested, that kids that stay active in the summer come back to school better off, and brain-wise, they've had stimulation all summer long. If we let kids sit at home all summer and do nothing, they come back and they have stepped back 10, 20%. They have to
That's
relearn
outside.
stuff because they don't have it. So I think you'll find that they're cooperative. They've got the same kind of money troubles that the city's got, but I mean, I think that a lot of times they can get imaginative and they can say, well, we'll get you a bus driver and a bus, and that, you know, I mean, then that is a part that sometimes is a big part of it. I'm sure just transporting kids from the Y to wherever, that's a godsend to have that bus and a driver. So, and that's not a gigantic expense, so, anyway, I'm all for it.
Well, so we're not doing a resolution tonight, okay? But let's, let's work on some financial numbers and see what we can come up with that way too, okay? I don't know how we're
Well,
gonna do that, but we will.
And maybe also approach some people about, hey, look, we're thinking about doing this. Would you be interested, even though you might have to start out as just a volunteer, to help out and see what kind of feedback we get on that too. So, I mean, we might as well put our both feet in the water and see where we're at, and go from there. I mean, so, between now and our November meeting, so, not a whole lot for you to do, but. Anything else?
Might as well let her give her a report or.
Yeah, do you want me to report on everything?
Sure, go ahead, while you're
All
there.
right, right on. Just do everything. Yeah, so I'm finalizing the rec guide. That is, really, I'm doing a good job with, well, not good job, but I'm doing a lot with it. It's almost completed for everything that we're wanting to do for winter. I'm just kind of doing all the design work right now. I'm meeting with, some people, meeting with Michelle of Reimagine Logansport and Cass County to kind of have her help me with a little bit of that too. But the rec guide's coming along really well, and I'm really excited about it. Our social media is blowing up, and so that's really cool. And I just put these stats in there for you guys so that I can see them for next month too, to see the differences in them. Our YouTube is going to be the next focus for October and November because those numbers are embarrassing, so don't look at them too deep. But I just created our TikTok, and our TikTok has over 2.5K views already on some of our videos, and our Facebook, which is our main media and our main source of communication. We're at 113.2K views and 20K views on our videos as of the 30th. I didn't check it today, but as of the 30th, those are the stats. So we're doing really great with it, which is mostly you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I've been like videoing you guys, so it's not anything else. Been going to leadership, doing all of that, making those wonderful connections in the community, learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about Cass County, so that's really cool. A lot of history there. The playground, the Spencer Park Playground ribbon cutting was since the last time we saw each other. And that was so cute and so awesome, and the kids loved the bubbles. It was so fun.
They did.
It was the coolest. It was so cool to see that happen.
Yep.
And yeah, the kids had such a good day. Like, they got bubbles, we gave them the balloons there at the end, like from the decor. They just had so much fun. It was so cool to see that. I've never been to a playground opening with like actual kids. And it was like pretty much everything that I had envisioned, so that was really awesome. So thank you, everybody.
They love the popcorn too.
They did. They loved the popcorn, and they barely made a mess because they were eating all of it. So
The birds will eat it, they don't eat it.
yeah. But yeah, it was really awesome. There was no complaints from the little kids, so that's really awesome. We did a radio day to talk about the opening. We had 4 dogs, 20 adults, and 27 kids come to the opening. I made sure to put the dogs in there because that was cool to see. We had a vendor. We had Corn Kiste come, and that was a big hit too. She makes these really great little pancakes, and they were magical. We met with Brian Strong, which we kind of talked a little bit about, and we're going to go to that meeting for the coaches. I'm really excited about that, to see where we can kind of meet the needs and stuff, and get a little bit more actual conversation from the coaches as well, see where their kids are kind of at with things too. I met with Dave Packard and his AV kids at the broadcasting for Christmas in the Park and for the advertisement for that goes at Merrimack's. So we're starting early so that we can make sure that gets into Merrimack's and that we stay on task with that one. The kids were really excited. That was really awesome. I met with the morning and the afternoon class. The morning class was really excited about the possibility of helping with the parks, and the afternoon class was way more excited about the actual video aspect. Like halfway through, they kind of stopped me talking and they just started writing down their ideas and what they needed and stuff. So that was really awesome. And then the next day, they called to confirm dates. So I'm really proud of them. And then Dave had said that I could come back in a few different times, that as long as I, of course, okayed it with him to make sure that I can come in and see where the progress is and stuff like that. And I think I'll be doing that just to make sure that they're kind of still, September is when I talk to them. That is a long time before the end of November when they're going to actually film it. So I'm going to go there a few times to kind of remind them that we still exist. Did some webinars, met with Chef Ryan. We went to the Northern Districts Parks meeting in West Lafayette, and that was really cool, meeting all of the different parks directors and managers and superintendents and stuff. And then I got to see the owl at West Lafayette at the Carson Park, right? Cason Park. Yeah, that was awesome. And I got to speak with one of the playground reps for that, so that was even cooler. Because they did that one like just custom, so when we needed custom something weird, now know who to talk to. And then I judged a Batman costume contest. So yeah, yeah. That was me this month, along with writing down the proposal for the grant and trying to get this sports program together. So.
We're also waiting on word from an SIA grant.
Yep, for movies in the park.
For, movie projector equipment, so we could do that in the park, so.
Yep, that one's for the movie projector equipment and some of the funding for the movies as well. Because outdoor movies are expensive.
You have to pay fees like theaters do?
Yes, but because it's an outdoor viewing, you have to pay, instead of doing like a yearly subscription, you do per video. So it's like $680 to $700 per video. Yeah.
We'll definitely be looking for sponsors.
We will 1,000,000% be looking for sponsors. We will be charging for popcorn. We will be making that will be a free video, but we'll be looking for some other ways to make that one happen. But
Does it matter if it's like an old movie or a new movie, or is it?
It's a sliding scale. And so like if we do like a more niche video, like they have technical titles for them. Like they have like their older films, like if it's black and white, then it's like 400, 500. The one that I wanted to do next year for the 250th anniversary of America, I wanted to do Hamilton. That's 700 right now. So, But they move around. It's not, that one just came out, so that one is going to be very, very pricey. But like Shrek, I think was like 500. Yeah, they're not cheap. However, they will get the community out. A lot of Parks and Rec have movies. I talked with some of my friends from Brownsburg because I wanted to see how, they have movies every weekend. And they are well attended. And so I just reached out to them and asked, hey, how are you able to do that every weekend? And they have massive sponsors, but they also rent out they get rented in their equipment. That rental fee was a little bit higher than what I wanted to pay for every time of doing that, and that's why I reached out and started the grant, so that we could physically have our blow-up.
Well, and there again, if you've got, if it could be at Riverside where you get that concession stand, if we could use our own concession stand for that, how many kids wouldn't want popcorn and
Yeah.
a drink and juju whatevers and,
We're going to have a conversation with Dave Harden about that, having that concession stand available more during the day, especially during the summer, to see if, what we can work out with them, because as we talked in our meeting last week, there's a lot of kids in Riverside Park during the summer, plus the people who walk, and it'd be nice if you see a concession stand and you can get something to drink, and, pickleball courts are not that far away. Basketball courts are not that far away, so if we could work something out with them, it would be beneficial as well.
and if you get, I had a stint at AIM with that stuff, and that we actually inventory controlled everything. Now, they had some issues with some thefts and stuff with kids, but, but the point is that if you have like bottled drinks, you can count that. And you can actually, when you hand off from Dave Harden, we take an inventory count, here's what it is, here it is now, and so then you then say, we've got 300 less candy bars, so that's our money for ours, and then, so it's doable.
I have a brother-in-law and sister-in-law who go to church in Monticello, and their church a couple years ago ran concession stand at Ross-Ade Stadium at Purdue. And so I asked him how Purdue did that, and they stock the concession stand, so they inventory it before, just like you said.
Yes.
Then the day's over, they come back in and they inventory then, so whatever amount of money they need out of what you've made to replenish that stand, then the balance is yours.
Yes.
And so, there's ideas we can.
And that's
throw at
doable.
softball.
Say,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
did, and also when you get, especially if you get volunteers or cheap people, it's good to know, based on what we sold, we should have made this kind of money. Because sometimes you got guys that steal a few dollars here and there, but,
Don't use that word.
but I think it's just, occasionally. But I do think it's something, again, that's where us thinking outside the boxes, how do we fund our parks department?
That's what we're gonna need to do.
Right.
We're gonna have to start thinking outside the box.
Right. I agree.
Cool.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead now, Kyle.
Kyle, come on up.
Okay.
Are you awake?
It's safe. Sleep, I think.
Stretched out.
Okay, everything's going good up the golf course. Financial wise, we're still up 16% from the year, which is about $90,000 from last year. So I'm happy with where we're at there. I know that we're also spending a lot of money, so it'll be interesting to see how the final numbers shake out at the end of the year.
Interesting to see what November and December do with the simulator.
Yeah, I get a
Haven't
lot
had
of,
any
Especially
income.
with the pro shop.
I get a lot of questions on, have the simulators been busy? I'm always like, no, it's still 85 degrees outside, so people aren't just busting down the door.
We're not ready to use it yet.
Inside. And that's okay. The days are getting a lot shorter. It's now pretty much impossible to get 18 holes in after work, so it has slowed us down a little bit. However, we were pretty busy when I left to come here today. What else? Aeration of greens and tee boxes have been completed. We shut down the course on Monday a few weeks ago and got it all done in one day. The greens have recovered really well, and we weren't disrupted too much from that process. Dean is getting a lot of work done out on the course as far as fixing all of our irrigation problems before they shut down for the winter, so that they've been hard at work at that. He's been growing grass on our T station for our driving range and getting the target greens formed and seeded and everything that comes along with getting that prepped. We've hosted a lot of events last month. Girls sectionals, which went really well. I mean, we have such a great spot for teams and parents and everyone to just relax afterwards and do, you know, so when it sounds like a big job, it's just, our venue is so nice now that it just makes it a real treat when you see people sitting out back in all the patios and just kind of hanging out. And I tell Dean, you know, what would we be doing right now if we were still in the old building right now? I mean, everyone would have left or just, you know, sitting around in the parking lot. I'm just kind of in awe whenever those situations occur. So anyway, we hosted a Pleasant Escape outing. Didn't have anything to do with golf, but they brought a lot of the residents from Pleasant Escape up to the patio and had lunch.
Mr. Happy Burger was in
Mr.
that
Happy
group.
Burger was there. Yeah, we offered golf cart rides to them, you know, just to get out and do something. And they had a blast. They were very thankful that we allowed them to use that space. And it was a great time.
It was neat too, because I saw it on Facebook. I saw Mr. Happy Burger there, and they had a little bit of a blurb there. I mean, I think and then people share that, and I just think it's,
Yeah,
I would have known, you mentioned it here, but I already saw that, which is cool. And
Yeah.
I think even like in your simulator, you guys did a great job. It's been shared. A lot of people I know have shared it multiple times.
Yeah, I forget what we were up to on the views on it, but it was
Yeah, it's
it was
good.
pretty good for a little 15-minute self-made project thing. So I was happy with it. Anyway, we had a Special Olympics golf event where actually the athletes participated with their playing partners on 2 weekends ago. And then we also hosted the Special Olympics golf outing, which was a lot bigger this year than normal, which is great for them. We had 21 teams show up for them, so that's
Wow.
great for them and great for us because it's a Wednesday right after green aeration. So financially, it worked out good for both parties. We had Dutch Mill outing. We had a couple family outings that I put together for Saturdays. So it was everything went smooth with those. Been doing a lot of marketing and updating of our website since we added the Sims. I needed to get pricing and stuff pushed out to that. I'm also gearing up for all of our price increases, so just getting drafts ready to publish when the time comes for that stuff. We've added new inventory into the pro shop. Over the course of the last month, I've been meeting with FootJoy representatives and Branded Bill representatives to get some more, maybe some more notable brands into our pro shop that some golfers are excited about. And
Got women's stuff.
I got some women's shirts as well, so we'll see how those go. I mean, it was requested, so I'm all for new ideas, so we'll see how it goes, and yeah, that's all we can do on that. Our T-Snap software that does all of our tee times and booking stuff, I had to set up a whole new one for the simulator, so that it'll work pretty seamlessly and a lot like our software right now, so our employees won't be too stressed out by that. I've also had to train all of our employees on how to use the simulators, which is I have found out that if you're a golfer, you were very familiar with all the terms and stuff. My employees that aren't golfers were just deer in headlights when I started talking to them about all the different games they can set up. They're just so we'll work through it. It is going to be a learning process. My employees have been asking, are we going to have to work late? Are we going to have to? I'm like, I have no idea. So it's going to be something that You know, I plan to shoulder a lot of the responsibility at the beginning until we get into a groove, until the weather finally decides to be cold for a long period of time, and we can be more sure of what our schedule looks like up there. I've been getting in some 100th year celebration inventory. So like all of the hats we just got in yesterday, on the back of them across the top, it says 100th anniversary on them. So I'm building up some inventory so that when we open next spring, I'll have it ready to go and stuff like that. We just released our Part 3 tournament sign up. Dean didn't know if he wanted to have that this year with everything going on. And with fall break sneaking up on us, but we picked the 25th, which is about 2 Saturdays away. Everyone always asks for it. It's not a huge moneymaker for us, but it's fun to play the course as a par 3. So we got that pushed out today. We have teams signing up for the Fall League Simulator League. We are in the process of about 2 months now, but we have our liquor license application meeting with I don't even know who, the Cass County.
Tobacco.
Yeah, ATC Board of Cass County or
Alcohol,
whatever.
tobacco.
That's on the 15th. I believe it's over in that room over there, but, so we have that going on. Yeah, there's just a lot. Is there any questions I can answer for anyone? No? Good?
Nope,
Yeah?
you're good.
Okay.
Anybody? Nope. Okay. Thanks, Kyle.
All right, yep, no problem.
You guys have done a super job out there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's amazing all the work they're getting
Yep.
done. And
Okay.
all the things they're doing to serve our community, really, truly,
Yep.
so,
It's great.
anyway.
Your turn.
I put, in my administrator's report, I put things in green that are no longer to be seen, because they're done. So, I will, you won't see all those then, from now on. And mostly that was what Kyle just talked about. The driving range is probably going to be over the course of the rest of the year. Hopefully, it's all going to get a little more grassy, and but they do have irrigation that'll get turned off, and so, but they're working on that, so. The maintenance barn is all done, it's complete, and they've moved equipment in, and car doors are all skinned, and roofs are new roofs there, and it really does look great. Trail cameras are kind of moving slow, I just can't get these guys every time they're here, there's like, oh, we gotta go take care of something else, and it's getting a little frustrating, and I don't know what the answer is to that, but bitching, I guess, squeaky wheel, yeah. We did order, in our budget this year was for new light poles in Spencer Park, and so we have got those ordered to get put in either winter or in the spring. I don't know if we can do it in cold weather, I'm not sure.
Jan, you might, I don't know if you've talked about or thought about this, when we did the ones, we already seeded the ones along the boulevard, we could, for like $20 more, you could have a thing put up above to put Christmas lights and stuff in if you want to.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, these are like
Street lights.
street lights that are like the ones we have at Houston, because part of the attraction of those are LEDs for one thing, and they can also be lowered like this to be fixed. So Kevin can do that all himself. We don't have to hire anybody to do that. So that's what we're trying to get for Spencer.
Sure, ask them though, like, because you kind of want to dim it down for Christmas in the park, but you also may want to have, so there may be, I found it, when I first dealt with LU on it, it was like, we didn't want to do that. And then I kind of pushed them and it's like, well, it's going to cost another $20 a pull. It's like, done, so it was just a case where there may be some stuff where, can we have ways to turn those down, off, whatever, and then is there a way to plug, if we need to have decorations in there or something,
Yeah.
or just even
Yeah, I'm not
plug-ins or
sure.
whatever.
Well,
Something to just ask, say it
Okay.
doesn't,
okay, all right. Christmas in the Park, we have been receiving our solicitation dollars. We are working on the promotions, and the grand opening for all of you is Tuesday night, November 25th. And we're going to have live reindeer with Santa Claus at from 4 to 6, and then the actual grand opening with the ribbon cutting at the entrance, it'll be at 6 o'clock. So, but that'll make that a little more interesting. And that's the day before, or the day kids get out of school for that Thanksgiving break. So, anyway, okay. The pavement sealing is all done at Houston Park, at Penman Building, the trail, the parking lot is all done, and then I guess there were some other paving projects as well, but that's all done. Christmas tree lighting, we have been working on with the planning committee, and that both Jacqueline and me and Kevin are all part of. And the tree lighting is scheduled to follow up the Light Up Logansport Parade on November 29th. And the guys will be assembling that the week of November 17th. They start working on, we'll start shutting down Spencer Park for Christmas in the Park displays November 3rd. So, okay?
Yep.
Any questions?
Nope.
And, okay, and then, Jacqueline, you didn't say all the things you got coming. We got Howl at the Moon on the 24th.
Yeah, she did mention
And
that.
the 1st of November is a Wicked showing with song lyrics for everybody to sing along with the song, with the cast.
So,
And that's,
hear your swing choir voice?
that's this,
Do I need to dance? I could work on the dance part.
this theater gave that to us for free, and she happens to have that DVD, so she's able to show that.
Good.
So that's a free thing, and then on the 2nd is the pumpkin roll at Spencer Park, down the hill, right? And then those pumpkins for a while can hang out for the deer. So,
that's a deer.
yeah, so, and then Breakfast with Santa is the first Saturday of December, so, she's busy,
Busy.
yeah. I think Dean might want you to know that, he is having trouble with one of his pumps. And
Yep.
it's not, I don't know how much longer it's got, but he is gonna have to probably replace a pump soon.
Yep.
Then we have done some different things with it. We did help, our staff helped with distributing the new trash totes around the parks, or around the community. They did return the A-frames back to McCord's that we used for the Summer Sundown Music Series. Picnic tables and trash cans set to festival locations. One was Horny Creek Festival, and then the other was the Oktoberfest. And then they used the mobile stage at Oktoberfest, and so that went back to, they got it from the fairgrounds and returned that, so. And of course, Live United Day was a big success because we got the playground done.
Yep.
And we could have had the dedication the next day, but there was still some cleanup to do, but it was great that mostly those people came from the Y, and it was a good day for us to be together, so. And then the Career Center is helping us with the Light Up Logansport. They're building 5 new tunnel pieces, so we're gonna make, the tunnel itself will be the same length, but it's gonna be more dense, so it'll be even more attractive with lights, so I think that'd be cool. I met with the Rensselaer Parks last week, invited Mayor Martin to be a part of that, and we had a real good discussion. It's interesting when you hear about other parks and how they are doing or not doing things, and we haven't made comparatively. So they didn't even, you guys don't have to approve every claim we make. And these folks they had a discussion over every claim that was made in their park board meetings. And it was just like, oh my, how painful. So, and their foundation and their park board met together. And so it was even harder to get through a discussion, so,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that
Anyway.
would make, our foundation
So,
board, that
yeah.
would make it hard.
So, anyway, it was a good discussion, and I gave them a tour of our parks, and they were really impressed with the things that we're doing here in Logansport, so. And FYI, two things. One, we are attending the state conference for the Indiana Parks and Recreation in Expo on the 12th of the 14th, or is it 11th through the, I think it was 12, anyway, it's coming, here, that 1 week in November, so we'll be going to that. And then our Parks Board meeting reminder
The 19th.
is the 19th, and, which actually worked out well because they're shutting this room down till the 18th, from the 6th to the 18th to get this wall repaired. So, yeah. If you're out and about, you'll see the guys doing things that you didn't realize needed to be done, like they took out the concrete circle around the one shelter. They're painting Oscar, the dinosaur, purple up at Dykeman Park, and just doing things that you might not think need to be done, but they're getting it done, so, anyway. And Kevin's doing okay, by the way, but he's
Going
still.
crazy.
He's not, yeah, he is going crazy. Not know what to do, so,
I
anyway.
don't know what to do with all this.
Any
time.
questions or thoughts or concerns? Why don't you come up to the mic then? Okay. Really, truly.
Susie Walmsley. I just wanted to know, the pump that you talked about that Dean is saying isn't gonna last, I wanted to know, do you know the cost to repair that? And is that already in the budget, or is that something that's gonna have to be addressed?
It's in the capital improvement list. And that's part of the replacement of all three pumps, and he wanted a new pump house, but I think he's finding out that he can't do a well. He can't do wells, so it'll just be probably keeping the same pump house that it's at right now, but, so just a pump, all three pumps are gonna need to be replaced at some point. And I think it was, I can't speak to exactly how much it was gonna be, but I just know that like it used to be in the $10,000 to $12,000 range when we had to replace one at the pool, because it's the same kind of pump that we use at the pool, so.
Well, I just recommend that you talk to him and get that figured out, what the cost is gonna be, because the city council, we have the GEO bond money, which is what we're using a lot of to do your capital improvements. And so if that needs to be added, we have to have that money, tagged in how we're gonna spend it. So and we're spending a lot of it. If you were at the city council meeting on Monday, like, we had like 6 or 8 ordinances that, for all these.
Sure.
Well, like the Parks Department was.
There was,
lot-
we had
almost-
ordinances.
Yeah, like almost everyone was the Parks Department.
Yeah.
And so it was very noticeable how much money we're spending on the Parks Department. And so if you got something else coming, we better find out what it is and get it on the list. Okay, I'm telling you, we got to figure this stuff out, because we're not going to have, when this money is gone, we're not going to have any money. So I just can't caution you enough as to how much money we're not going to be able to be spending. And we're doing the best we can, but I just wouldn't wait on that. So if you could get that information and get it to me, like, I'm not even
Or
kidding.
yesterday.
Well, we're doing finance tomorrow at 5.
I can call Dean and ask him about it.
Okay, so even if we just had an idea.
Sure.
That would be helpful, okay?
Thank you.
And I gotta say, I think it's important for the council to remember that we do get a lot of sponsorships to do the things we do, or grants. We do our best to do things like that, and we recognize how much it costs, because that's what we're doing to make things happen. And I just feel like that's important for the council to keep in mind on our behalf.
But it doesn't feel like that right now. Like after the meeting on Monday, and we had all those resolutions or ordinances about the money for the Parks Department, I mean, it's just not feeling like that, and I just know we're gonna get some pushback. So that's why I'm asking that we do this, so that we can prepare, and I can do some talking.
Well, the golf course isn't the only part of our department, you know?
No, I understand that, but
Okay,
that, the
well, I
golf
just-
course wasn't, that isn't even the money we were talking about on Monday. Like, it was the playground equipment, it's
No, I
the
know.
paving. I mean, you were there, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just, I just would like to have a number, and so we could put that on, because our GEO bond money is gonna be,
Oh, yeah,
and then-
it's getting tight.
yep.
Okay.
No, I mean, we still have GEO bond money.
Sure.
It has to be on the list.
Well, yeah, but I mean, going forward, it's going to be tight. It's going to get
Yeah,
tight,
26, 27, 28
Yeah.
is gonna be,
which we all knew was going to happen, so,
right. Okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, board comments, Eamon,
No comment.
Mike?
I just say that I am excited listening to stuff that we could do and we could fund through sponsors, and, you know, as I say, I mean, I know where Susie's coming from, I know where the city council's coming from. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that are just kind of scared because we don't really know. No one can give you an exact number of saying, this is how it's going to be different than it was last year, and that's scary because, you know, people also, you know, I mean, there's just a ton of people that are on a city council or some board or whatever because they love Logansport, and people tend to, when also we get into financial troubles and things don't happen, they start, well, you're a bad person, I mean, it's just really not pretty. So I like the idea that we're looking forward as the parks to say, okay, what can we do? And this time it's going to be nerve-wracking for a lot of the financial people of the city. What can we do to keep things going on? And I really think, like in the case of sponsorships and stuff like that, most businesses, you know, unfortunately, like the city, it'd be nice if they would just say to everybody, hey, we're in tough shape and da-da-da-da, because then when you go out there and say to somebody, well, we still got kids here, we still got playgrounds, we need to do stuff, that I think that most businesses, if they realize that the city is in a weird condition because of the state and the legislators of the state, that they will want to give donations to, because they still want, you know, they all have kids, you know, and I think there could be some stuff with churches. And I mean, I just think there's opportunities out there that are groups that want to continue. I mean, Logansport's been on a roll. You know, we've got stuff happening and new things going and that kind of stuff. So I just think that there's some stuff that I think this is really positive. And I think even like talking to Dave Harding, I mean, I think it's a good thing to say, you know, we need to have some use of that building.
And we-
I mean, you know.
We even talked about seeing what we could do to the bottom half of that old press box building at Mulehausen Park, putting a concession stand in there at Mulehausen Park as well. So, I mean, there's ideas out there that we can work on and see what we can do, so. Jason, are you there?
No.
No?
No comment.
No comment. Well, I'll end with my normal, thank you, Jan, Kelly, Jacqueline, Kyle, Kevin, Dean, for the amazing job you guys all continue to do. And we will adjourn this meeting at 7 o'clock.
Hang in there.